Okay, so this is Robert here, and I wanted to read something real quick that will answer a question that a lot of people love to ask, but don't think that the answer really is as simple as it should be. But first, I want to kind of paint the picture. In order to paint the picture, I'm going to read from Ayn Rand for the New Intellectual, and basically, it's just a collection of her works. And the part that I'm going to read from it comes out of one of her best work, Atlas Shrugged. So, when you see that trading is done not by consent but by compulsion, when you see that in order to produce you need to obtain permission from men who produce nothing, when you see that money is flowing to those who deal not in goods but in favors, when you see that men get richer by graft and by pull than by work, and your laws don't protect you against them but protect them against you, when you see corruption being rewarded and honesty becoming a self-sacrifice, you may know that your society is doomed. And in a lot of ways, I agree that our society is exactly where she was describing right there, because all it takes is for you to be even an ounce of an entrepreneur and go out there and figure out that, dang, if I want to start a business, I need to get permission from so many people who don't work in the field I want to do, that I need to get their permission and their licenses and their signatures and their approvals and all that just in order to do this. It's How is that just? How does that happen in a free society? And it just makes you hopeless, because we got all these rules and regulations that we are being forced to live by. And I believe someone said that if they wrote the federal laws down in a book, the book would be, I think they said, over 100,000 pages of fine print. How are we supposed to follow all of that? It's impossible. And they try to say that ignorance of the law is no excuse. Who knows that many laws? Who knows that brevity of information? It'd be impossible. So really it comes down to something, because our forefathers knew this was a possibility. They knew this could happen. So they set up what effectively I would call is kind of like state-sanctioned resistance, to where they put something in place that if we use it, and we use it rightly, we can get back to our free and just society that we once had, that we can all live equally how we want, where we want. And the secret word that's been right in front of us the whole time is nullification. And there's two types of nullification that you can really dive into and get into, but the one that I really want to kind of focus on is going to be the jury nullification, but there is also state nullification. And if you want to read something terrific on that and just get yourself a real good grasp on the historical context of how state nullification was used in our country and how it's as American as apple pie, the book I recommend you getting is called Nullification, How to Resist Federal Tyranny in the 21st Century. And it's written by Tom Woods. Heavily recommend this book. Great read. But the reason why I don't want to talk about that one so much is because while it is a tremendous tool to stop federal overreach into our everyday lives, the way to enact state nullification is you got to obviously vote for your state representative, your congressman or whatnot, have him go up there and actually follow through on what they said on the nullification of whatnot. How many times have we elected politicians and they don't do what they said they are going to do? I didn't need to wait very long. I bet you already got 4 or 5 in your head, so we'll blow past that point. But the one I want to talk about, obviously, is jury nullification. And a great book to read up on that is this little citizen's rule book that you can get at Infowars.com when you purchase anything, and we'll talk about that later. But inside of this book, what it talks about, right off the bat, is jury duty and what your rights are as a juror. And why I think this is so powerful is because, and sadly I have not been called to sit on a jury yet, and if I do get called one day, I will absolutely try to sit on that jury. But if they ever see this video, they're immediately going to kick me out, as they do with anyone who even brings up the word nullification. But how the 101 of jury nullification is, let's say I get selected onto a jury, and it's someone's getting persecuted for like walking down the street smoking a joint or something like that, and whatever your opinion is on the marijuana laws and all that stuff, for me it's a victimless crime. And if there is no victim, there is no crime. So why would I persecute someone who did not violate any natural rights of anybody else. He didn't steal from anyone. He didn't, assault anyone. He didn't do anything that was what lawyers would say is malum in se, which is laws, something that is illegal because it is morally wrong, like a murder or theft or stuff like that, to where it's just on the surface, like, that is wrong. You stole from that guy, you assaulted that guy, you killed that guy, or whatever. It's obviously wrong. And then there's malum prohibitum, which is what bureaucracies love to go wild with, because in malum prohibitum, it is illegal because someone just wrote up legislation, this person shouldn't do this, bam, okay, that's why it's illegal. It's not because of moral, just reasons. It's just because it was, I think, what how they kind of described it as like white collar crimes or stuff like that, to where it's, victimless stuff, to where, they didn't wrong an individual right on. I'm describing it horribly right now, but we'll dive into that later. But it's jury nullification. This is something we need to read up on, and us within this patriot movement, we need to start clogging our courtrooms up. If you get a red light ticket or something like that, take it to court and get a trial by jury, and you will win almost every single time, because all it takes is one person on that jury to go, this is unjust, I don't like this, bam, you're acquitted. And let's see, a quick example I could think of, the most obvious example from early American history was the Fugitive Slave Act, and how that effectively got nullified because juries would not persecute the individual that was harboring the runaway slave from the South into the North. They would give them shelter or whatever. You got the Southern, it would come up, the Southern Democrat. They won't tell you, most of them were Democrats that owned the slaves down there. They would come up big, oh, this black guy, it kind of looks like that black guy right there, he's the one that ran away, so, you got to give him back to me. That's not exactly how that's going to work. So, they just didn't persecute the people that harbored the slaves that came up north and helped them free. So they no longer tried to persecute them under that law. That law got wiped off the books. That's how alcohol prohibition got also wiped off the books. It wasn't because the government just went, oh, that's wrong, we should stop doing this now. No, juries stopped persecuting people for drinking alcohol. I mean, jury nullification is one of the most powerful tools we as Americans can use to go against this tyrannical government that we're operating against. That someone wrote a terrific book. I'll have to try to, what book was it? It was something like 8 Felonies a Day. And it was someone who wrote a book that basically, like, the average Joe who just wakes up, eats their breakfast, goes to work, comes home on the weekends, maybe goes to the bar or out to a football game, goes back home, will violate 8 federal felonies every single day. How are we supposed to live free in that, or even know what all those rules are? So jury nullification, people, look up on it. And this is me reporting here from Colorado, hopefully soon down in Austin, Texas. I'd love to be down there. But before I go, as I mentioned earlier, please go to the Infowarsstore.com, buy some of their amazing products, such as Silver Bullet right here, amazing. I use that anytime I get like a cut or anything like that. Just apply that on the top of your skin, helps prevent bacteria buildup and all that. Then we also got Survival Shield X2 here. That gives me tremendous energy. I love that, and also helps make my hair a little bit better, skin look a little bit nicer, And then obviously one of the top products is this Super Blue toothpaste, which have both of these products in there, and it's a non-fluoride toothpaste. Best part about it, non-fluoride, and it tastes great too. I got the mint one. The peppermint is delicious, but kids also like bubblegum. But yeah, so that's what I have to say for right now. Look it up, jury nullification. Best way to save yourself, man. Help someone out today, they'll help you out tomorrow. This is Robert reporting for Infowars. Stay true.